What is in the contract? The enterprise agreement document of the EA contract stack states the clause around acquisitions, divestitures, and mergers. And you can do this when you have a change in licenses of in your enrollment of more than 10%. So if you divest an entity which is holding 10% of your licenses, then you can do so and work with Microsoft in good faith to accommodate the change. And the in good faith clause is a legal term saying that Microsoft will not deny you this option. However, what they don't state is how to effectuate any changes. And it's always dependent on a lot of different factors. So what does your contract look like now? Is it a direct contract or an indirect contract? Do you have tenant enrollments? Is it an EA or an EA subscription? What are you buying now? Cloud services versus on-premise licenses? Are you still paying for the license part, or just have software assurance payments in your contract? Do you have any license reservations for your cloud services, etc., etc.? So I've copied the clause that is in the enterprise agreement contract stack on this slide in the bottom, where it states how they are willing to handle this. Important to note, most of the time Microsoft sales reps need to figure out how they do this. So when I initially, at my time in Microsoft, handled this case for the first time, there was nobody to tell me how I should do it. In fact, I had to figure it out on my own. What are we able to offer to a customer that is divesting or acquiring a certain entity? Therefore, I think this is quite valuable as a reference case towards the future. If you ever have some of these situations, that you know what is possible from an objective perspective and not being told by Microsoft or the LSP on how you should be able to do this. Now, this is a slide. Oh, I think I put in the apologies. So I'll show it like this. And the financial consequences is a slide I put in a later stage. This is a slide that is quite important to us as well, because when you do this, it will have a lot of consequences from a financial perspective. So if you are an entity which is divested from a very large organization and you are set to go at it by yourself, it means that your pricing might drastically change. So whereas you were part of a super enormous large organization, like a Fortune 500 company, you're being divested and you're fending for yourself, most likely you will get a different price from Microsoft. So you will fall in a level A category, whereas you might have been a level D. But additionally, you will not get any high discounts that you might have been used to as being part of this Fortune 500 company. Same with Azure. If the new contract that you're going to be a part of doesn't, for instance, have an Azure commitment discount, but the former contract that you move out of did, then that means that your consumption most likely is going up because your pricing is going to increase overall. Similarly with concessions, for instance, specific pricing concessions might not be granted to you if you're a smaller organization in and of yourself. So for instance, anything around investment funds or ESIF will not probably be granted to smaller organizations, which you might have been used to when you were part of a larger organization. Additionally, programmatic SE discounts, reserved instance, Azure Hybrid Benefit, you might all forfeit these in your new contract, because in your old contract you were being able and allowed to use these programmatic benefits and incentives, but in your new contract you don't have the licenses or you don't have the options. So this is something to always be very keen on, to keep in the back of your mind and to make sure that you are aware of what is happening here.